racing bar to bar. I learned to chase the pain and arm the scars. And my tail fire, that's a Charizard. Then we aim higher than the Taj Mahal.
Hello. Welcome to Just Saiyan. My name is Kaiser. This is my co-host Sky. We got another episode jam-packed today. We're going to talk about Dragon Ball Daima, the brand new news around Dragon Ball Super, and I have a little note I want to bring up on Sparking Zero. I'm just, something I want to bring up. But first of all, Sky, how you been? What have you been up to? What's up?
Been up to a lot, and just quickly before we really start, because I know we're gonna get into Sparking Zero and stuff, but being a Vegeta fan is rough. It's been rough for decades at this point, but Vegeta's only been my favorite Dragon Ball character for the last like 10-ish years. So let's just say for the last decade it's been rough being a Vegeta fan, right? So
yeah, in the last episode wasn't much better.
Yeah, so we're continuing with that, and just quickly, you can definitely tell Toriyama wrote this. Shout out to you, Toriyama. We love you. Even us Vegeta fans, we still love you because at least you made Vegeta. But yeah, this is definitely written by Toriyama. This is 100% confirmed from episode 11. So
okay, yeah, it definitely some funny bits we'll have later on, but I think the first thing we're going to talk about is, of course, Dragon Ball Super's coming back. We finally get a little bit back. Sky, we're here and it's February 20th, and I'll pull up the first couple images here, but do you want to talk about what we know so far?
Yeah, so what we know so far is this isn't a month-to-month return yet. What this actually means is this is a one-shot from Toyotaru, and it's based off the Clean God. Now, if you don't remember the Clean God, this character that's in the cover there, right beside Goten and Trunks, was actually part of the little arc that we got in Superhero with Goten and Trunks, and they wanted to go see his movie. They were like fantasizing over him. So this is literally Goten and Trunks' idol, in a sense, outside of the Z Fighters. So I'm really curious how he's gonna play a part of the story. I really like his look. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it really fits with the superhero look, like the Gamma 1 and 2, and all the comical like references and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that. We know it's a one-shot thing. The one thing that I will say that I really like about this is they're trying to flesh out Clean God, they're trying to flesh out Goten and Trunks' relationship with Clean God, but they're doing it in a one-shot format, which is something that a lot of the fans should appreciate, because a lot of the flack that Goten and Trunks little arc was not that people didn't enjoy this slice of life thing that was going on. It was the fact that it took up about 5 months of Super. What a lot of people need to understand, right? Not just the fans, but the people writing it, right? Like Toriyama, and the other people helping them out in the back there. Is that it's a month-to-month thing. So for us fans, it's like, okay, we're getting this is cool, but maybe kind of split the chapter in half, or we get Trunks and Goten doing these new missions, or these new learning about Clean God, or just doing other stuff, being in school, because I really liked it when Gohan was in school, but that was only like 3-4 episodes, right? And it was great. But when you have a chapter once a month and we're getting it for 4 to 5 months, it kind of feels like, I hate to say it in this way, but in a sense, it does feel like a waste of half a year, because we're only getting 12 chapters in the year, instead of splitting it halfway. But the fact that we're getting it as a one-shot, I'm actually so excited for this. I'm really excited for this, because now I get to see it all in one format. And then when Super comes back, we won't touch back on this, but if Clean God makes an appearance in the month-to-month chapters, we'll now understand his character more, and we'll probably fall in love with him, right? So that's something I'm really excited for. And we should all know, if you guys are in the Discord, I pinged this a couple months back, but there's also a Toyotaru one-shot, and it's called Dragon Ball Super Divers. And this is not canon at all, but it's a cool little one-shot, and it's a one-shot by Toyotaru. It's about the characters and the Z Fighters versus Vegeta, Nappa, and the Cybermen from Saiyan Saga. So it almost feels like it's his own version of the Saiyan Saga, maybe to tribute Toriyama in some sort of way, maybe to attribute, like, how many years, I don't know if there's like an anniversary since Saiyan Saga came out. Maybe that's why he's doing it, or maybe it's just something he really wanted to do, right? So that's his one shot. I'm also really excited for that. I want to see his take on this new character that he has in the cover there. He has this interesting wristband too, which is cool. And yeah, him and the Z Fighters are going to versus Vegeta, Nappa, and Cybermen. And it's only 32 pages long. So it's just going to get right into it. But I'm really excited for that.
Right, for sure. Slideshow's got a mind of its own right now. We were going to talk about it, but yeah, here we have some of those event results. We have that just up there. If you're on the Discord, you'll see that there as well. Yeah, I had it tethered, so it's supposed to be like my keyboard's supposed to be changing the slideshow, but it's not. I love it. This is my favorite part. Now that's exciting.
Yep.
I was gonna pull up Super Divers too, but that's okay. February 20th, very close. So this cleaner god guy, all right, badass looking.
Oh, he looks cool.
Badass looking. The broom, I'm a little, I don't know, on, but I mean, as far as brooms go, pretty darn cool broom. I'll say that.
Oh, I actually really like the broom, to be honest with you.
Hey,
I do.
Cool broom. Cool broom.
Yeah.
Not cool weapon. I don't know yet.
It could be. It could be, right? It could be.
I can see it being a cool, like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't remember what he was doing in the movie, to be honest. I don't know if he even actually got to see it. I just remember there's a scene of like Trunks. Is it? And I think it was like Dr. Hedo or something. Like fantasized they're on like the rails and then like watching him or something, which is pretty cool. But yeah,
this man's got muscles on muscles.
Yo, what if he's actually like really strong?
I hope so, man.
Well, I hope he's like Earthling strong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope he's like some like. How cool would it be if he was stronger than Mr. Satan? And I know that you guys, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, Mr. Satan's weak." No, I'm talking about in like an Earthling. Like, you're a pure Earthling. You're not Krillin Earthling. That's like complete. That's not. That's like fake at this point. Krillin is so strong to like Saiyan levels of strong. Like, Krillin is not a joke. Same with Tien and Yamcha. Even though people like to meme Yamcha, Yamcha would literally smoke any normal Earthling on Earth easily. But Clean God would be so cool if he just was abnormally fast and strong, and he could, you know, maybe even give Yamcha or Tien a good fight. That would be really, really cool, to be honest.
If he was like Captain America, basically.
Yo, yeah, like did like studies on him, and somehow, you know, it has something to do with, I don't know, Red Ribbon or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on as well, before we get into the Daima discussion, is it's been a good year for Sparking Zero. I know it didn't win Fighting Game of the Year at the Goaties, but it did get nominated. And so I still think that says a lot. One of the there were people picking it to potentially get the win, but I just, at the end of the day, I think the gameplay mechanic of Tekken and Mortal Kombat
Street Fighter 6, yeah.
Yes, but as far as this year, like the nominations that came out for this year's like fighters, those were the ones that were at the top, and I know that they did really, really well. Especially, I've heard really good things about the Tekken game, the newer Tekken game. But yeah,
I haven't got to play it. I mean, I played a lot of Tekken 7 and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. My favorite character in Tekken 7 got nerfed like 3 times, but I still played it. And he's like apparently the best fighter now in Tekken 8.
Wow.
Yeah, because, you know, like different patches and different moves they use, right? It's a whole different game in a sense. So, yeah, that's, I would still say like that's pretty successful considering. Like, you got to consider something. Tekken 7 came out in like 2013, right? 2014. 10 years later, Tekken 8 comes out. So it was a big hype game to come in, and there's some old characters from old Tekkens that came in. So I understand why because I believe Tekken 8 won, correct?
Yes.
Or was it Mortal Kombat?
No, Tekken 8 won.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Even Noun in the chat's even saying like he didn't have any expectation that it was gonna win. Yeah. Also, NL Komen Is he new to
Coming
this?
No, that's actually Danimals.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Danimals. Okay. Yeah, he says that Clean God rides the broom. Like a witch, I guess.
No, he was thinking it should be something like Mercenary Tab
Oh, I
from
hear
Dragon
you.
Ball. Because Mercenary Tab, he breaks the pillar, he throws it, and he jumps on the sky and stuff. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You also saw the French tournament final thing where they just cheesed the whole match to get them to fix the game right. No.
No, didn't. No, he didn't.
Damn.
But of course, the game has done well. One number I can't wait for, we've talked about this before, is the numbers after the holidays of what sales were like. I think that's going to be the initial boom. Everything else is going to be sprinkles. But I think with the initial weekend being 3 million, it's going to, I still think it's going to creep in on the top 10 best selling fighting games of all time, because it just needs to crack. I forgot what the number is now. Is either 7 or 10 million. In opening weekend 3. Sorry?
Is Fighter Z there? In the top 10?
No, there's not a single Dragon Ball game in there. Let me see. Top selling fighting games.
Dan also says here that Boo needs some Ozempic. Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about Boo soon,
dude.
we're gonna be talking about these Boos very shortly. Do not worry.
So funny enough, actually, Fighter Z is number 11 on the all-time fighting game sales. So it sold 10 million. Number 10, just ahead of it, is Tekken 5. I do think that it's gonna crack the squad, though. I think it's gonna crack it. Yeah, so what do you want to talk about? Do you want to go through the episodes, or are we going? Do you want to just start off with Majin Ku and Majin Do?
Before we do that, just quickly,
yeah,
I hope you saw it, because I don't know if you guys know this. There was a Jump Festa event that happened, and they gave you some news on like some Dragon Ball stuff. There's gonna be more Dragon Ball news, by the way, in January, but in Jump Festa, we got some like Fusion World tournaments, but we also got Toyotaro. He drew Black Frieza for 2025 Jump, because that's how it goes. Like, it's called Jump Festa and 2025, because that's the year we're going to. So it's never Jump Festa 2024, even though it starts in 2024. It's Jump Festa 2025, and Toyotaro drew Black Frieza, and it looks fucking incredible. It looks phenomenal. And did you end up seeing it, Kaiser?
I feel like it's the image I've been seeing a lot, but I haven't read or like gotten that information. So let me see. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, if you just search up like Black Frieza, Jump Festa.
Jump Festa.
Yeah, you will see it immediately. I see it on Reddit here, for example, and it looks incredible. Absolutely incredible. And also, I'm not only talking about Frieza itself, I'm talking about the font for Dragon Ball Super. It looks amazing. I love that font for it. It looks so like it how do I explain it? It looks so raw. It doesn't look clean at all, and I love that.
So we're looking at the same photo, right? At the bottom it says welcome to
JF, yeah.
Okay.
Jump Festa 2025.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up.
And this was like a little thing he wanted to do for Jump Festa, which obviously we appreciate. Thank you, Toyotaro, for that, because it looks great. Also, just quickly, I think we got someone in chat said something. Let's see. Barking is still $70 USD on Steam during the winter sale. Yeah, that's not good.
Well, here's the issue. The prices never change. Like, Kakarot is still ridiculous. It's still like a full price game.
It kind of looks like Metal Cooler. It does. But what I really like about the drawing is the top part. So, again, if you guys remembered, when we saw Black Frieza in his first reveal, we thought everything was just black.
Yeah.
And he didn't have some interesting thing going on. But this confirms, right? Like, he's got some like metal or like I don't know what it is, but it looks so
It looks
cool.
like metallic. Yeah.
like metallic. Yeah, it's I don't know. I love it personally. I
And
think it looks
it's
good.
on the palm and like a bit of the wrist as well. Do you see
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks fantastic. And again, I'm just gonna say it. I really like the font. I love that like all the letters are completely in different sizes, and it looks very raw. And I don't know. I just thought he did a great job. Personally, I just want to shout that out. Shout out to Toyotaro.
Now, what about when we're talking about Majin Buu? That's what I want to know from you now. Majin Buu off the bat.
Let's talk about Ku.
Okay, we've we didn't talk about we didn't talk about okay, so let's start off with that.
Okay. So before we get to the fight, what did you think was gonna happen? Okay, so the fight starts, right? And the first thing Majin Ku does is this before he charges. He does a move called this. I don't know if you remember. He does this before he charges in. What is your first reaction? What's going through your head when you see him doing these weird like things?
Oh, the Ginyu Force.
You're thinking Ginyu Force, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Dude. I was thinking
all for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was funny. But yeah, when he started fighting, okay, I think this is where we might have our differences. Do you think Majin Ku is weak?
I don't think he's weak. I just think that in the context of Tamagami 1, he's weak.
I agree. I actually don't think he's that weak at all. I think he showed some promise, to be honest. I think that Ki Blast thing where he was like moving it around was also really cool. That was a really cool ability. What I will say is Majin Ku definitely fights in a more cool manner than Do. We'll get into that. Do definitely fights in an interesting style. I don't even know what style you would call that, but
it's something.
It's creative. It's definitely interesting.
It's creative. Yeah. What I have on screen here is also like they released the original drawings from or I guess the final drawings or from Toriyama. So I'm when we're talking about Majin Buu, I'll bring that up too. I mean, obviously it's what we've seen already. I do think he's stronger than we think. I think he'd still whoop like Krillin, the OGs like that. But as far as like the mains, I don't think maybe he pushes, but I don't think he does much. And we still have yet to know if the Tamagami 1 and 2 are stronger than 3, if 1's the strongest. We don't know.
Well, okay, this is how I feel about it. Just to make the scaling easy, like really understandable. I think his peak is Piccolo. I think he gets up to Piccolo. And I think Piccolo beats him.
Okay.
So I think Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo are 3 who could beat him, and probably Shin as well, or Nahari.
No, you think Shin?
Yeah, Shin's power level is probably just under Piccolo at the end of Buu Saga. So
I think Shin would lose.
Maybe,
but I think that's kind of like in the line where we're at, right?
Yeah.
So
I definitely got Piccolo beating Ku. Now, dude. Now, you know what I think is cool, actually? What we should do is, before we get into some like the lore stuff, let's talk about both of their fights first, so that we're done talking about them, the Majins. So, Majin Buu is definitely stronger than Majin Ku.
Oh, 100%.
He is definitely stronger. Now, I heard some people talk about on Twitter, or X rather, that Majin Buu may not be stronger, but he just... I disagree with this, by the way. But his moves and his movement has been throwing Tamagami 1 off, because I don't know if you know this, or remember this, there's a couple of scenes where Tamagami's like, huh? And then it just surprised him. Now, in my opinion, Majin Buu is a very interesting character. In the sense of, he is the only character that I remember, and someone ever, by the way, I'm talking about ever, including Super, that redirects himself mid-flight in a fight. He just redirects himself to fend off or go on the offense on an opponent. I've never seen that from any fighter so far in the Dragon Ball IP. Someone can maybe refresh my memory, but there's an instance where he flies up past the Tamagami, and then he just doesn't even look. He just goes down. He propels himself down like that. And I'm thinking to myself,
like he's defying physics almost, like momentum and He's just
That's an insane feat to me. To me,
yeah.
that's an insane feat. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. Now it's saying Piccolo. I'm trying to remember when it can't be against Android 17.
Piccolo does
is it
that against
form?
first form Cell.
Oh, okay. I can't even say anything because I don't remember. I don't remember how that fight goes.
But obviously, it's not something we see a lot, and it's a unique skill set. So I'm curious to see.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna get an idea as to how much stronger he is. I mean, they definitely made him stronger. There's no.
He's stronger.
They put him 20 centimeters deep. Apparently, that means something. That was so weird, by the way.
Yeah.
For that to be like if you dig it the hole deeper, like what the fuck? Come on, really? That's what we're okay.
You know, my only thought process behind that though is because it's a seed, right? And you're giving it more, like it's taking longer for it to sprout, so it's actually longer and bigger, right? Like the seed ends up sprouting longer, right? So maybe that equates to power level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like by 10, I think it was 10, right? 10 centimeters more because they put 20, and then for Ku they did 10, right?
Okay.
So that's my only thought. My only thought process is like, it's a longer sprout, so maybe that entails like it's stronger when it grows. Remember, it grew into like that weird bubbly looking thing, and then Dew came out. That's the only thing I can think of. If they explain that later on, maybe if they make a third one, and there could be a third one because of how the fusion bug works. So that might be an interesting thing. But if they end up making a third one, it'd be cool if they explain it, or maybe I'll explain it sometime down the line too. That'd be cool. But I actually think they will fuse.
I agree. I think you're right.
Ku and Dew will fuse 100%. Now, is there a third one that'll be in there? Maybe. But like, what are we gonna call this one now? Majin Mu? Like, come on, bro. Like, we're running out of names, guys.
I know. Like, what else? Zoo? Majin Zoo? The Majin Zoo would actually be fire.
Majin Zoo, yeah. Because it would be like Zoo, like Denzel Curry's album Zoo, like a ZUU. That'd be so cool, actually. That's actually really cool. And Denzel Curry's, I believe, is a Dragon Ball fan, so he would definitely tweet some shit out. He'd be like, "Yo, this is sick." So that'd be cool.
Yo, what if I'm looking around. I searched it up on Google, of course, just seeing like what some of the images are coming up for the fusion, right? A lot of people putting together fan art that resembles like Janemba in like the attributes. That would be cool.
That would be really cool because Janemba is a fan favorite movie character, a big fan favorite.
Bring him in a little bit, you know.
That would be really cool. Let me check my notes here so that we can talk about a few things not regarding the Majins. Okay. Let's see. Well, if we're going straight through the fights, I guess we could talk about the Vegeta fight with Tamagami 2.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the pros first because there are a few negatives. I'd say not about how the fight went or anything. I thought everything went well. It's more negatives in terms of my personal opinion because I'm a Vegeta guy, right?
Yes. How the fight goes at the end.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't written poor. It wasn't necessarily written poorly. It wasn't animated poorly. It was actually all of that was pretty good. So the Vegeta versus Tamagami 2 thing. First things first, what I'll say, Tamagami 2 looks cool. He's got the trident. He's giving like the Poseidon vibes. They all three have weapons. I don't remember if I mentioned that or you mentioned that in previous episodes, but I never actually took that in. I knew that the first one and the third one did, but I never went back to see if the second one did. So yeah, that to me anyway, it was confirmed that all three of them have weapons, which is also really cool because in Dragon Ball, not many people use weapons anymore. It's a lot of hand-to-hand. So I thought that was cool that all three of them had it. I like the area that Tamagami 2 was in. He was in some sort of like cliff, and there's like a lot of water surrounding him. It's definitely, they definitely fight in the areas that they must excel in some sort of way. He's also got like some like fins, it looks like, on his head, to indicate, you know, he's some sort of like fish looking guy.
Yes.
Yeah, Tamagami thing. Really cool. I like how all three of their designs have a lot of similarities, but yet they look so different at the same time. So that's something I do appreciate. And I thought the animation, so it starts off and they're boxing, they're doing really, really well. And I thought a lot of it was really cool. What I found interesting, and I'm a Vegeta fan, going to be like, you're a Vegeta fan, you should know that this is how it would happen. But I thought Vegeta would use more hands than Ki Blast. I thought he was relying a lot on Ki Blast really early in the fight. That was interesting to me. Now, again, don't get me wrong, we all know Vegeta as, if he if he starts losing control, right, and he starts, wavering, he just starts firing a bunch of key blasts. We know that. But in terms of just overall fighting, he uses it here and there, but I thought he was using it a lot more often than he tends to use, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which I found interesting in the way he was fighting. I'm thinking maybe because he can't fly a lot right now because of the air or something, maybe that's why he was using a lot more key blasts.
Maybe.
That could be a reason. But I did feel like he was impressive, but at the same time, he wasn't as impressive. I thought he would do a lot better even in base. So I could cope. Or maybe this is cope, maybe it's not. But maybe we could say Tamagami 2 is stronger than 3. If we end up finding that out, then I would then be like, okay, this makes more sense. Because remember, for Goku to completely finish off Tamagami 3,
he had to transform.
He went Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah.
And he went Super Saiyan 2. Also, he actually deflected the Super Saiyan 2 Kamehameha blast. Now, he lost right after that. Goku elbowed him. But that was insane, as is, that he was able to even deflect it. And after that elbow, Tamagami 3 gets up almost right away afterwards to play the final battle, right, with the cups. So, I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't that impressive for a base Vegeta to push Tamagami 2 to that. But the problem with the fight for me is the whole falls into the Kraken and like all this shit, and it's really annoying because I have a strong feeling Goku's going to step in. And if Goku steps in the next episode, that's going to be my issue. My issue is not Goku shouldn't beat Tamagami 1, or he shouldn't have the final fight, because I know it's going to happen anyways because it's Goku. My whole issue is give a good moment to Vegeta. Give a good moment to Piccolo too. Like if Piccolo's the one who beats King Goma, that would be cool or something, right? But give something to Vegeta. Bro.
Or if Piccolo's the one to step in instead of Goku, that'd be cool too.
I think I'd hate that more, because then it's like Piccolo's fighting Vegeta's battles would be crazy, bro. I know Noun would like that. Noun would absolutely love that.
Yo, rightfully so. He deserves
man.
his flowers.
But yeah, overall, I thought the fight was pretty good. The ending, you know me, right? I feel like once you saw that fight, you knew I would have an issue with it.
Oh, I was laughing my ass off, dude. I was watching that with Alexa, and I'm like, watch, no, because he almost gets swallowed the first time. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he gets swallowed. I'm like, he is gonna be pissed. And then at the post credit, it shows like 2 scenes, and very quickly, and I believe one is Goku powering up or something. And so I'm like, oh shit, is Goku about to pick it up? That would be so good.
Bro, if that happens, bro, if Piccolo steps in next episode, I might actually just lose my shit.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. NL says, yeah, go ahead.
No, go on.
NL says, I would love if the new Majins fuse with the bugs to lose the fat. Best Majin oat? I don't know what that Majin oat means. But yeah, no, I think Josh brought it up, or Sky brought it up earlier. I do agree. When he brought it up, I was like, yeah, that sounds right. Like, they are going to fuse, I think. And that's going to be what puts them over the edge. Maybe they're going to have to come back and fight Tamagami 1 again. And it's going to be kind of funny that way. It's like, oh, God, okay, how are we going to do this? And so maybe, they're all going to come back. And the witch is instead going to say, you know what? I have another idea. Here's these bugs. Let's fuse them together. And now let's see what happens. Technically, they should still be under Arinsu's control, because she used her spit for both creations. Both are loyal to her, so if they fuse, there shouldn't be any issues. One thing I will say about Majin Buu is that I appreciate that the design was very similar to Innocent Buu or Fat Buu, and the dynamic also between him and Ku I thought were kind of funny. The whole I've always wanted a brother, and then the chocolate and all that was kind of cute and funny.
Oh, okay. And by the way, just quickly, whoever thinks Majin Buu is a fraud, you are absolutely wrong. Name me someone in the universe who can run and get chocolate as fast as Majin Buu.
No one.
That dude in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, he went out of the scene and he came back with chocolate.
It's actually crazy.
Crazy.
That was a highlight.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. I think we're excited for the next episode.
Oh, wait, that's what I was gonna say. Are we getting an episode this Friday?
I can check that right now. Let me confirm. Chat.
Okay. So what? Because while you're checking that, guys, this is again our last stream of the year, and our next one will probably be on the 6th because that's the Monday, obviously, and I will not be here for the 13th, so we probably should be here for the 6th because I will not be here on the 13th, and that would leave us for the 20th after that. But yeah, I want to know if they have an episode coming on January 3rd as well, because then at least we can talk about 2 episodes.
Yeah, so there is an episode on the 27th.
And so there should be one maybe on the 3rd.
There is, yeah.
Awesome. So we can talk about both on the 6th.
Okay, I see.
Because I leave on the 7th to Mexico.
Beautiful. So we come back on the 6th.
Yeah, we'll be back on the 6th.
Yeah. Okay, beautiful.
So let's see here. It says here, I would love if the new margin fused with the bugs, so it's the Baku best margin of all time. Yeah.
Oh, that's what oat means. Of all time?
Yeah.
Man, I'm so old.
The trash on it, boss. Tall, skinny, and short fat goons trope is so fire. I love them in a Rinsu. Yeah, I actually really like a Rinsu. Rinsu is probably one of my new favorite characters. I think her design's cool. I love her voice actor too. I think the voice actor is killing it. Same as the Tomogamis, by the way. If we're talking about voice actors,
Yeah.
the Tomogamis sound awesome.
They
By
do.
the way, they sound great. But yeah, Rinsu's a really cool character, and depending on what her demise will be at the end of this, whether she lives or whether she falls over by the Z Fighters, I'm curious if we'll ever see her again. That would be really cool because we again have it's confirmed now that the events in Daima are going to trigger something that happens in Super. That has been confirmed.
Really?
Yes. So I remember I used to say that as a prediction. I've recently watched something from Geekdom that showed it being confirmed, which was like, oh, I didn't even knew that, and that was confirmed last year, which is so funny that I was just randomly saying that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this opens up a lot of possibilities, and maybe eventually in the new year, because we want to obviously expand in other things as well. Maybe we'll do a pre-recorded thing where we talk about theories after Daima is done. But that's interesting now. There's a lot more things we could talk about knowing that that's going to happen. And I think with me saying that, I guess we can segue quickly over to the Super Majin Ryumus. Now, or Rymus, not Ryumus. It's actually RYMUS. And this is now this is really fucking interesting because this is either one of two things. It's probably the first thing. This is a retcon, right? This has to be a retcon because what does this make of Zen, right? So we've now been told that the Super Majin Ryumus, who created all the universes, and the fact that they appointed, or it's only one person, I think, it's only one Ryumus, appointed the Supreme Kais to these universes, shares a couple of things that are interesting about it. First and foremost, the Supreme Kais are 100% older than all of the Gods of Destruction, because once the universes were made, the Ryumus were instantly appointed to the universes. So that's one big fact. That wasn't completely confirmed, but we could probably speculate that was already the case anyways, because they are linked to the God of Destruction. So that's interesting as is. And the second thing now is that the Supreme Kais that not the Supreme Kais, the Supreme Kais that they the Supreme Kais that they showed in Daima, we have already seen in Super. So people are still thinking that Daima isn't canon. I still don't get it. Like it was confirmed canon.
How do
already
people still think that?
Bro, before it aired, it was confirmed canon, and then people are, and we're getting things now that talk about things that are in Super and all this shit. We're seeing characters from Super, and people till this day are trying to think this isn't canon because they don't want it to be canon. Whatever. But that's nor here or there. The good news is though about this Ryumus thing is, I think Kaiser, we're gonna get Ryumus in Super in the next arc or in one of the next arcs.
Think so?
Because why reveal him? Like why talk about him And what
He
'cause I don't know,
doesn't
man.
need to be there. He doesn't need to be a part of the plot, but they added him there. You're right. Like, it could have been that Zeno was responsible for anything that this guy is, right? But they wrote him into the plot. So what you're saying is, why?
But what's even crazier is that, again, I could say this is a retcon, and Toriyama looked at Super and saw the gaps that he felt like needed to be filled or wanted to be filled. And maybe for what Now just said right now is that the Rymus is to the Kais exactly as what Zeno is to the Destroyers. So what this could entail for in Toriyama's mindset, right, for trying to get into the head of Toriyama, which is basically impossible because he made the biggest IP, right, for in anime history. So, but if we're gonna try to get in his head here real quick, I think maybe he thought that he needed that parallel, right, with the Kais and the Destroyers because they're already linked together. So might as well have that parallel with the Destroyers and Zeno, with the Kais and Rymus. One and two, it's that Toriyama made and wrote Zeno. Zeno isn't some Toei Animation creation. Zeno is made by Toriyama.
Yes.
Right? Now, whether it was drawn completely like him and Toyotaro maybe expanded on it, we do not know. But what we do 100% know is that Zeno is part of Toriyama's universe. So it could be retconned in the sense of Rymus, he thought needed to be added to the story with Zeno in there as well. Because right now Zeno's the big guy, right? Like nothing can beat Zeno. These god destructions, these angels, they all fear Zeno. So what does that make Rymus? Is Zeno scared of Rymus? That's the thing, right? So I don't know. But what's interesting, why I wanted to say that is it's interesting because it's not like Zeno wasn't a Toyotaro character.
Yeah.
This is a character from like Toriyama knows of Zeno, so it's not just some you know, just tossed in the air type shit.
You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think that like a similar dynamic might exist between Rymus and Zeno that Shin has with Beerus. You know, like you asked, like, does he fear him? Maybe he doesn't fear him, but he fears anything happening to him, kind of thing. Maybe there's something where, like you said, the balance needs to exist. And so if Rymus dies or passes or something happens to him, then all of a sudden the Zeno is gone. And then what does that mean for everything? So maybe they're trying to build something bigger, something that we can't predict because they're establishing and laying all this new ground down. So yeah, dude, it's gonna be really crazy to see where they go. And now with the Super manga up and going soon, you gotta assume it's gonna be rolling for a while. Where are we about to go? And I think a lot of what you talked about, even in earlier episodes of this show, not this show, but of the shows that we've done, around, you know, where did Frieza go to, you know, to build an army or to build relationships, whatever. Potentially the Demon Realm. Maybe there's something with Rymus involved. Who knows? Exactly.
Okay, so let me just see here. We got some like little small points I have here.
Yeah, Neva as well, right?
Yes, actually, that was. There you go. You read my mind. I guess we're linked as well. I don't know who's the Kai and who's the Destroyer, but yeah.
I think you're the Destroyer.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, no, we played Call of Duty. You're the one getting kills. Like I'm the guy limping through the forest. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am.
Don't diss yourself like that, dude. So yeah, like you said, Neva joins the gang now. He knows Namekian, the Namekian language, and I was thinking in my head this exact thing. But then when someone actually said it, like, you know, when you're thinking of something, but someone says it out loud and you're like, you know what? I think that's actually it.
It starts to establish some like reality. Like maybe this isn't a crazy idea. So tell me, what is this?
Exactly. I think Piccolo's playing Neva. Piccolo said he does not remember the Namekian language because he's been on Earth for too long. And that's why they actually had to forcefully bring Neva. But maybe Piccolo is bringing Neva because he wants to see what his bigger ambition is. Why is Neva really coming here? He probably wants them to have his own wish as well. I think Piccolo is actually playing chess here. Now, maybe just me over analyzing or me thinking that Piccolo is some sort of like god, but this isn't Super Piccolo. This isn't Dragon Ball Super Piccolo. This is the Piccolo we remember as being the smartest character in Dragon Ball. I genuinely think.
I think you're right. And here's why. Because Piccolo fused with Nail, and he merged with the Kai, with Kami. Sorry.
Yeah.
So he inherits, like, with the way it works in Namekians is you inherit knowledge as well. So
Knowledge,
he should
memory,
theoretically, he should theoretictically know the Namekian language. I think you're right.
Yeah, and Kami, I believe, I think now, because Noun's favorite character is Piccolo, so he
Well played.
obviously like knows a lot of like Namekian lore and like side stuff too. But if I remember correctly, Kami is known, and obviously we've known Kami for a long time. But Kami, from my understanding, is known to be one of the most intellectual Namekians of ever. And actually, fun fact: this is how you know a lot of people don't remember or just maybe never watched Dragon Ball. But Neva says to Piccolo, "You remind me of Katats." Now, people are like, Katats? What do you mean? Piccolo's father is Demon King Piccolo. It's like, guys, Piccolo isn't just one being anymore. He has Kami and he has Demon King Piccolo in him, right? Katats is Kami's father. He has Kami inside of him. You know what I mean? So that was an interesting thing that I saw a lot of people really like getting confused about. They're like, oh, but shouldn't it be? Was it never wrong because Demon King Piccolo is the father of Piccolo, right? Whatever. I'm like, well, no, because he inherits, like you were saying, not only the memories, the knowledge, technically the being itself. That's still Kami in there, right?
Yeah.
And even there has been instances where Piccolo will say something, and someone else will like look at it and be like, yeah, that might be the Kami in me talking, or that might be, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that was something that I just wanted to quickly say. And I think Neva did say something interesting, by the way. I think this was in episode 11. He said, "What?" I believe Bulma asked him. He said, "Aren't you lonely in Planet Namek?" And Neva says, "I'm waiting for the Namekians to come back home." And that's an interesting thing. Y'all don't remember that phase where Piccolo just called himself the original nameless Namekian when he was like, yes, actually, yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like when people were like, Katats, who the fuck's Katats? I'm like, oh no. Like, it's okay to not remember the name Katats, but like people gotta really understand that it's not just Piccolo. Like we should all know this. It's not just Piccolo, bro. There's Nail, there's Kami, right? So, I just found that kind of funny. But yeah, what was the other thing I was saying here? Yeah, so
Do you trust him?
Namekians. Who? Neva?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I don't trust him yet. I don't think but how do I say this? I don't think he's a bad person. I think same thing as Glory. I actually don't think Glory was a bad person. I just think he's going about it in a way that I wouldn't agree with, right? Maybe like he's taking advantage of good people, right? Like Goku and stuff like that to do something. Because I do feel like maybe something has happened in Glorio's past or something like that, and Goma and people of Goma are responsible for it, and he's going about it in this way, in this very selfish way. So I don't think that makes the person bad. I think that makes what he's trying to do. Like, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I don't think that makes Glorio a bad person. So like,
yeah,
like Neva, I don't think Neva is necessarily probably a bad person. He is a legendary Namek. Seems like someone that maybe people may have worshipped or like at least looked up to, right? In a sense. And it'd be really cool to go to Planet Namek, with the fake Planet Namek now in Super, and see if they talk about Neva later on in Super. That would be really interesting.
That would be interesting. Maybe Neva ends up on Namek. That would be cool.
That'd be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would. But yeah, so him saying waiting for the Namekians to come back there to the Demon Realm was very interesting because it kind of lets me know that's probably gonna happen. And I think it's gonna happen. And you know why it's gonna happen?
Why?
Is because if you remember when the Supreme Kai was talking about Warp Sama and how it worked, Abra, Dabura's father, stopped Warp Sama from being able to go from the universes to the Demon Realm, right? That's why now, like, we didn't know about the Demon Realm until Daima, because the Warp Sama was just closed off, right? You can only use like a Gendarmerie ship or something that can contact to get to Warp Sama. But how about if in Super we find a way to get it back to how it was before Abra's era or generation, where Warp Sama is just free, right? Like you can go in and out of the Demon Realm. So it's not like Dende would never get to meet his people again because he can go to the demon realm. And I'm sure Dende, someone as smart as Dende, and someone as like as very what do you call it? Not motivated, but someone is like
caring,
passionate. Yeah,
passionate.
caring and passionate. Dende's very caring and passionate. Namekian, it would be really cool for him. He definitely wanted to go see, where his people and his ancestors were born and raised. So I feel like that would be a cool thing where we get to see more of the demon realm and more of the Namekians. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting that Neva said that, because I believe that's how maybe the Dragon Ball IP will end when the Namekians are there as well. I think they'll be there by the end of Dragon Ball. Let's see, what else do I have? Do you have anything about that, by the way? Sorry, I'm just rambling a lot.
No, this is good. This is good.
Another thing that was confirmed, because a lot of people were talking about, which is cool. Again, they're answering a lot of questions here in Daima, is the Saiyans and the Earthlings are confirmed to not be from the demon realm. They're not part of the demon realm, because they were made of some, I don't know how exactly, but Supreme Guy said they came after the universes were created. So I don't know what that necessarily means, because how was the first, like, did the chicken lay the egg, or like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, maybe the idea is that, like, sort of the way it works now, right, where it's like the universe is created, but then it takes hundreds of millions of years for life to actually form out of that, right? So maybe that's the idea, like, because the demons were pre-existing, pre-universe, Big Bang kind of deal. Maybe that's the thought.
Maybe, yeah. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm trying to understand how that goes about that. But yeah, them not being part of the demon realm is a cool little note, because that's something that would probably be in the back of a lot of people's heads if that was not answered. And then my last note here isn't really a big thing to talk too much about, but it is kind of sad. It's that the Glins will eventually be extinct or go extinct, because they do not procreate, right? They're just born off of trees. And all 5 of the Glin trees die. So when Bulma let Shin know, it was like, so is that it after this? And he said, yeah. So that's an interesting and sad reality, right?
Yeah.
For the Glins, is that there will be no Glins eventually. And now we don't know their lifespan. It seems to be millions and millions of years, and they could possibly maybe even live on forever unless the God of Destruction is destroyed or killed. And that's why I've said this, I believe, back when we first started the channel, but that's why I don't think Beerus will ever die, and any of the God of Destructions will ever die, because then the Supreme Kais will die with them. So yeah, that's an interesting thing, though, to be honest. And I thought these 2 episodes were great, by the way. If you
so yeah, and that's where I think I want to end it. Like, we've gone through, 10 but also 11 episodes. We're about the halfway point. I think it does make sense to put a rating on it so far. For myself personally, I'd probably go I think I'm at an 8 out of 10 right now.
For 10 and 11?
For Daima at the halfway point.
Oh, for Daima. Yeah, I would probably give Daima... Yeah, I'd say 9 for me. I'm loving it. I'm loving almost everything about Daima. I think the music's great. The characters are great. I do think, I think it was episode 8 where they took the Dragon Ball and has that beginning bit, stuff like that will happen.
It felt a little filler, almost, yeah.
Yeah. Stuff there's little hiccups, but to be fair, there's hiccups in every show, so I'm not too hurt about that. But yeah, I'd say a 9. And just quickly too.
Yeah.
Noun does say here in chat, y'all think Zalama left the demon realm when Rimus created the outside realm? Well, I actually asked you, Noun, I don't know if you saw it on Dragon Ball Daima Talks, but I mentioned, let's see if you did. I said here, yeah, you didn't reply back. I said, do you think Zalama is possibly Neva's brother or son? Because Nameks are ancestors of Majins, and Rimus created the universes in which before Zalama created the Super Dragon Balls. Because if you remember, Zalama is the person who created the Super Dragon and the Super Dragon Balls. Those are non-existent until Rimus creates the universes. So we know for a fact Zalama is only there after Rimus created the universes. So yeah, I asked you that, but I don't think you may have saw the ping, but maybe got lost in it, because a lot of people were talking about that after. You think Neva's way too young is what Noun ends up saying in the Discord now. Isn't he like only 1,000? No, Neva's not only 1,000. Neva is only, I believe Neva's trying to make himself live for longer than 1,000. Another 1,000 or something. Let me see. Age.
Naiva, over 1,000 years old is what it says.
Yeah, just over 1,000. Yeah. So.
His face makes me laugh, man.
Yeah, because if you look at it, Kami's only about 300.
Yeah.
And Grand Elder Guru, the one who gives the potential to Krillin, and Gohan in Planet Namek, he's only 200. He was younger than Kami. So
really,
yeah. So being 1,000, is big for being a Namek.
Yeah,
that's really big. Because if you look at Guru, was sitting on a chair like. Cool character though. I mean, he was awesome. He gave potential to people. He had great abilities, but that's also why Neva's abilities are crazy. Imagine if he like touched Piccolo's head right now. Piccolo would probably be orange before we even get to Super. To be honest, man, like I don't know.
So is Salama alive? Yes, Zalama or Zalama. I'm not talking about Zalama.
So yeah, so the oldest Namekian
It is Zalama. It is that's his name, right?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So Neva is the oldest Namekian, 1, and 2. The actual lifespan of Namekians are around 200 years old, while those born with special abilities can live well past that limit. So people obviously like Piccolo, and again, what Namekians can end up doing is if someone were to come around to have more latent potential than someone like Piccolo, they could just absorb Piccolo. You know what I mean? Like fuse with Piccolo, and Piccolo would still be around. Yeah. So yeah, Neva is the oldest now.
Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Next episode is gonna be a blast. I think we're gonna probably get an end to Tamagami 2.
Maybe one. No.
Maybe one. I think one of two things is gonna happen with Majin Buu. He's either going to find a way to turn things up a notch, or we're gonna have the same result as we did with Majin Buu, and it's gonna be I can't do it. Like we discussed, potentially get a fusion going, and then we have the ability. But then do we end up getting this humorous kind of thing of like, oh, we've been back and forth so many times that now when we finally get there with a fighter that can do it, maybe the other fighters are getting there at the same time. Yep. So that could be interesting. And all of a sudden we have all 3 of the Demon Dragon Balls arriving in the same spot. It's a dangerous thing.
Honestly, what I'm really excited about just before we end here for Daima is I feel like a lot of pieces are coming into place around the same time.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get maybe some sort of like battle royale-ish kind of thing going on with Goma. And, maybe eventually he might be around in that area and he sees Hibis's belt. He sees the third eye. He somehow obtains that third eye before the final fight. They're already saying Goma's strong. Like they keep saying it. Multiple people have said it already. Arinsu has said it. I believe Supreme Kai has said it. I believe Glorio has said it. There's multiple people who have said that Goma is strong, and they weren't referring to him with the third eye. So imagine Goma with the third eye. He could actually, I know he's a joke character, but again, Toriyama likes to write joking, strong characters. He made Majin Buu, right? People are forgetting. Ginyu Force back then was strong. All of the Ginyu Force was strong. They were all goofy characters. In Dragon Ball, many people, Commander Red was a dumbass. He had Launch being a weirdo who always like, you know what I mean? Like, this is Toriyama's writing, right? Like, we got to understand that Goma may look like no threat at all, but he might actually have some insane spells or some sort of magic abilities that can really turn the tide of a battle here that we just don't know.
Look at Zeno. Zeno's the greatest example.
Yeah, exactly, right? So what's cool is we might get that. We might get like a Goma. We might get even Neva might just end up having the Tamagamis fight with him to help the Z fighters, right? And so even though they don't have to ball with them, they might fight together. Remember, we talked about this too. We had a small little fun time a couple weeks ago talking about a little theory of, imagine there's 3 Tamagamis, the fusion bug, maybe all 3 Tamagamis fused into one. That would be really cool as well.
Yeah.
Because again, there's 3, and then to fuse, you could use up to 3. That would be a really cool thing. And that would sell, dude. Like, that would just sell. It would sell on everything. It would sell in merch. It would sell in games. Like, people would be like, oh my god, all 3 of these Tamagami designs individually look great. Imagine them fused together. This could be some crazy Autobot shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I think of Power Rangers too, because you have like all the pieces
Rangers,
coming together. Yeah,
exactly.
That could totally see that. I think it'd be really cool, and again, it's something that you can spin into Spark and Zero. They got fusions in there. You got to add the Tamagamis in there. And that's a cool thing too about Sparking Zero, is that because we have the different scale of characters, like as far as sizing goes, it really, like, anyone can be in the game.
Analasa. Look at Analasa.
Yeah.
Analasa's there. He's huge. He's like the biggest character in the game.
Grade 8 Vegeta.
Right? So,
yeah.
Grade 8 Vegeta. Yeah. So, yeah. I guess let's just get to this now thing, and then we'll end the stream.
Okay.
Let's see. What does it say here? Now it says, Zalama probably wished for eternal youth, which I don't get why Neva doesn't do that instead of just extending his life. Agreed. You know what I'm thinking? The reason why I don't think he wants eternal youth is maybe because Neva eventually does want to pass.
Yeah.
But maybe he's extending his life because he's waiting for the Nameks or the Namekians to go back to planet Namek. Maybe that's his big goal before he passes on, is that, again, he's waiting, like he said, he's waiting for the Nameks to come back home. Yeah. So maybe he's extending his life instead of eternal youth so that he knows that he'll eventually pass, but he wants to see the place where he was born and raised, in the original place of his people, be brought back, back to the demon realm. Maybe that's my quick little assumption. That's my quick little. He wants to see it through, and that's why he's extending his life instead of getting eternal youth. But we'll see, because I feel like he's gonna want a wish, and he's gonna wish for his shit first, and Piccolo's gonna catch on to it. So
we're gonna find out, and we don't have to wait too long. 4 days, we'll have our Christmas good old time, then we'll fight over shit on Boxing Day, and then the next day we get Sparking, man, all the IPs are confusing me. Then we get Dragon Ball Daima, again, potentially a conclusion to Tamagami 2, and then we'll see what happens with 1. I mean, look, it looks like this thing is gonna be 20 episodes, so they're gonna start cooking. I think genuinely from here on out, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And Dan here just says, let's see. I didn't get to see it yet. We should have talked about this before. That's actually on me, but yeah. So they're just quickly before we just wrap up. There is apparently a Daima Dokkan Fest going on. Reveal. I don't know who got revealed. Dan, maybe you could just let us know quickly before we head off, because I don't see it right now. But yeah, so it looks like there are some Daima characters, which is really, really cool. And he says they seem to be good. So I'm gonna grind that out actually right after stream on Dokkan. Grind out some gems because I still need some for the anniversary anyway. But yeah, that was a phenomenal stream. 2024 has been great for Dragon Ball, and I think 2025 is gonna be even better.
Agreed. Yeah. It's like this year was a setting ourselves up again kind of year. I mean, from a gaming perspective, from a console gaming to a mobile gaming to the animated, and obviously we did get a lot of super manga as well towards the beginning of it. So we did get, kind of a little bit of everything. We'll see kind of how, now that they've been cooking, can they kind of continue that steam? Let's see.
Let's hope so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Just Saying. Catch us on the 6th for our recap of episodes 12 and 13, and potentially more information on Dragon Ball Super. We'll see you guys on the 6th. Merry Christmas. Thank you for tuning in, and we're closing into that 1 year anniversary. So, see you then.
Face to face and bar to bar, I learned to chase the pain and arm the scars, and my tail fire that's a Charizard.